Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 5A, First Differences. Okay, so first differences. Now, up till now, we should be able to sketch just about every line. So when I say sketch every line, I mean if I were to give you an equation like 3 over 2x plus 1 with the grid, you should be able to think, okay, I must start at 1, wherever 1 is, and then go up 2, and then over 3, up 2, over 3, up 2, over 3, and create a line. Okay? Oops. Now, we are still on the topic of studying lines, or, in other words, linear relations. It does say 5 because we are in the next unit. Last unit was more about being able to sketch them. This unit is going to be focusing on, well, why? Why do we need to sketch lines? Why is that important? Why do I care? You guys, some of you may already have jobs. Others may be looking for jobs. When you get a job, let's say you get paid $15 an hour, and you want to save up $150. Okay, that is a linear relationship. Why? Because for every hour you work, you get an extra $15. So 1 hour, you get $15. At 2 hours, you get 15 plus 15, which is $30. At 3 hours, you get $45. Now you can see that if I were to represent this with a line, I can say, well, how much did I start with? That's 0 hours. Well, if you don't work, you get no money. So you start at 0, 0. So then after 1 hour, you get $15, right? 1 hour, you get $15. So if you think of that as our slope, rise over run, okay, so that's 15 over 1, 15 over 1, 15 over 1, $15 1 hour, $15 1 hour. Same kind of thing, okay? That's what this unit's going to be about. So, for the following tables of values, calculate the first differences. What are the first differences? The first differences are essentially the differences in the y values. Okay? Simple explanation, but that's essentially what it is. Okay? The differences in the y values. So, how are these tables useful? Well, this could be something as simple as, I don't know, number of hours worked, how much money you make, or number of hours played in a video game versus your score in the video game. I don't know. Number of hours of practice versus the number of points you get in a season, whatever. But our job is to check whether these are linear relations. So to do so, we check the first differences. And to do that, I just simply look at the differences in the y values. So if I compare these two, I'm going to subtract the top number from the bottom number. So I'm going to go 40 minus 20, which will give me 20. Okay? Now, what am I doing? In order for it to be a line or a linear relation, the pattern in which something goes up, in other words, the slope or the rate of change, should be the same. In this case, it's up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. In this case, it's plus 15, plus 15, plus 15. So I have to check if that's the case here. So right now, I can see that this is going to be plus 20. Now let's check again. Some of you are thinking that's pretty obvious, but 60 minus 40, that's plus 20. 80 minus 60, that's plus 20. 100 minus 80, again, plus 20. So, it's fair to say that if this is going up by 2 over 3, 2 over 3, that is our slope. If this is going up by $15 every time, that is our slope. Since this is going up by 20 every time, then we can say this is our slope. Okay? Now, the only issue is this. So, ignore this for a second. The only issue is this. So, y equals 20x. Okay? Now, the only issue is this. What is it starting at? Well, we don't know, do we? So we want to know when and the x value is at 0, what does it start at? Well, I notice here that 20x is actually wrong. Why? Because this is going up by 2. So this is going up by plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Okay? So in fact, if I were to look up here for a second, this rate of change is we are going up by 15, right? 15. Per what? Per hour. Okay, so in other words, it's going up 15 over 1. So the slope is 15 over 1. In this case, it's going up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. So the slope is 2 over 3. If I look down here, this is going up by 20, but over 2. Okay, so my slope, it would be 20 if this was going up by 1. But it's clearly not, right? So in fact, in this case, the slope is going to be 20 over 2. Okay. Now I want to find out where it starts, plus, well, in order to find out where it starts, I need to go back to 0. Okay, so where did I start? I want to go back to 0. If I go back to 0, well, I know it's a difference of 20, right? Which means this was supposed to be plus 20, plus 2, so minus 2, minus 20. This is actually plus 0. Okay? And that's how I got y equals 10x. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay? Let's take a look at this second example. Oh, so I guess I never answered. What is the first difference then? So in this case, the first difference, so I'm going to put FD for first difference, is equal to 20. Okay? So let's take a look at, I'm going to do one more example, and all of these are the exact same. I'm going to skip this one so that you can do it. I'm going to do this one. So I realize that this is going to be 11 minus 10 is equal to 1. 12 minus 11 is equal to 1. So my first difference is equal to 1. Okay. Now, I also know that this is going up by 1, up by 1, up by 1, which means my slope is, so y equals, my slope would be 1 over 1. 1 over 1 x. Now I want to know what my y-intercept is. Okay, so where do I start? In other words, I need to go back all the way to 0. Okay, well, what's my pattern here? It's minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, all the way to 0, right? So minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, all the way to, well, I need to go back how many times? It looks like 15 times, doesn't it? So if I go back 15 times, here I start at 10. If I go back 15 times, what's 10 minus 15? Negative 5. And I'm done. Okay? Alright, should I do one more? Yeah, I'll do this one for you quickly. The hours worked, because it involves decimals. It might throw some of you off. So, in this case, I want to know, so this is where it involves decimals. I want to know what the rate of change is in this case. So 85 minus 42.5 will give me, so you type that in your calculator, minus 42.5, that'll give me 42.5. Yeah, I'm going to circle that. Let's check this again. If I subtract those two, 127.5 minus 85, I once again will get 42.5. Okay? And you can fill out the rest just by adding 42.5 plus 42.5 plus 42.5, right? So the first difference, that is my first difference. Okay? So now, how much is this going up by? Plus 5, which means my slope would be y equals 42.5 divided by 5x. And then I want to know what my y-intercept is. Well, how do I get this to 0? How do I get my x value to 0? Since this is going up by 5, I only need to go back once, right? So in this case, I just need to go back once. So what's 42.5 minus 42.5? plus, that will give me 0. Okay. Any questions, please post under math questions and I'll answer it as soon as I can. And I actually want to make an adjustment here. First differences is the differences in the y values. Okay. Now, that is correct. When we look at the slope, however, it's the differences in the y values divided by the differences in the x values. Okay. Alright, take care.